on WBNE.
Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
Today is Monday.
And this is Bacon and Eggs.
So go visit Master Luke.
And give Grogu a choice.
Because today we're bringing you...
The Book of Boba Fett?
I mean, it's been 6 episodes, and he hasn't read a book once, and he's barely been in this last 2 episodes. So,
did you know?
Is it really any of those things?
Did you know the first time we see paper in all of Star Wars is in The Last Jedi?
I did know that. Yeah,
I don't know if
books
that's true
get
for the
burned.
Clone Wars shows or Rebels or anything, but in terms of the films...
The first time we get paper in important Star Wars...
This episode is called From the Desert Comes a Stranger. This was directed by Dave Filoni, which I think is painfully obvious.
No, you don't say.
It came out on February 2nd, 2022, which is 5 days ago. 89 on Rotten Tomatoes. Listen, it was directed by Dave Filoni. That's painfully obvious. It's not an episode about Boba Fett, which I think is points against it. This episode slaps.
It slaps until the end.
What happens at the end? I watched it like a week ago.
So at the end of the episode, they do the great thing and reintroduce the Marshal, Cobb Vanth, played by the wonderful Timothy Oliphant.
Yes.
As this just like great, super handsome, charismatic Western sheriff character. And then they employ Rango from the Johnny Depp movie Rango to come murder him and be like, the Pike Syndicate sends their regards.
You don't like
and every single Dave Filoni fanboy out there was like, oh my God, this is the... I literally saw 18 TikToks that were like, the moment I've been waiting for my entire life. To which I say, get a new life. Try again. Start over. Do better.
The fact that this character's from the TV show.
This character's so stupid. I don't care what he is or what he's done. There's no reason for him to be in this episode or in this series.
Oh, I disagree. I'm super excited about this guy. I don't have a clue
I was
who
not
he is or what he
sold
does.
I was not sold from the beginning. I've been more sold on Ahsoka in this episode. I was more sold on all those kind of things.
Young Luke.
But this guy coming in the last 5 minutes to kill one of my favorite characters for no reason.
I don't think Cobb Vanth's dead, to be honest.
I mean, I don't think he is either. But like, everybody's like, oh my God, so great. It's so great they're using the voice actor from the original TV show. Maybe they shouldn't, because that guy sucked.
Oh, I had no qualms.
That guy sucked.
What is this dude's name? Cad Bane?
Yeah. He looks stupid, acts stupid, sounds stupid, is
I thought
stupid.
he looked cool. I liked his hat.
I don't know. I was not happy here. That was the only thing I didn't like about this episode.
Oh, I'm so surprised. What did you think of Luke's Jedi Academy?
You're surprised. You're surprised that I am anti-crap from the cartoons that shouldn't be canon. You're shocked.
No, I'm not shocked by that. I'm shocked you didn't like this character brought into... Because I don't know their story in the cartoon.
I don't either. I don't either.
I thought they were cool.
I didn't like the look. I didn't like the voice acting. That was
I thought the
basically
look was very cool.
The look is not cool. Like, I don't need lizard people, okay? Like, you're gonna blow up all you're gonna blow up the Twi'leks and whatever, that's fine. I don't need Rango in this episode.
What if it was Rango played by Johnny Depp? Like
Then it would have been infinitely cooler, okay?
If in the middle of Star Wars, suddenly here's Rango the chameleon from Johnny Depp and
that's basically what we
DreamWorks.
got, just with worse voice acting. This is gonna be my most unpopular segment ever on this show, by the way. I just want to make that clear. This is going to be my most unpopular take, maybe ever.
What, that you didn't like Cad Bane?
That I didn't like Cad Bane's inclusion in this episode. Or the execution of his inclusion in this episode.
Thought he was very cool. I got goosebumps when he started walking up.
I mean, I just thought it was going to be somebody, like, interesting.
Who would you have been satisfied? You will never be satisfied.
Okay.
God, I hope you're satisfied.
Jesus Christ. Calm down.
Name's Angelica Schuyler.
You know, I don't even...
Who would have satisfied you, Ethan?
Han Solo.
What about Emilia Clarke as Kira?
Well, so that's the running theory, right?
Yeah, she'll be showing up.
She'll be showing up at the big old battle, which I don't think is going to happen.
Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen at all because we're at I mean, I guess I say we're at a completely different era, but like, I guess not that much time.
No.
passes
Not that I
between-
don't think she's going to show up. I don't think the battle's going to happen.
Oh, I think the battle's going to happen.
I don't think I might be wrong about this, but I feel like they're going to throw us for one, and everybody's going to be lining up to do a battle, and Boba's going to be like, listen, there's no reason why we can't work this out person to person. Why we can't just get along. I can be the daimyo. You guys can be in charge of Mos Eisley. We'll all be fine. No spice.
No, I don't think he will because they killed the Tuscans. And
No.
this is
Yeah,
my
but
thing
that's
about-
the thing. But that's the thing is like the Tuscans are going to show up to defend him. And they're going to be like, and the subtitles are going to be like, Boba, there is no need to fight. This is
We
not
are
the
a
way.
peaceful creature.
This is not the way. Bo-Katan Kryze is going to show up and be like, hey, this actually isn't the way. Also, give me the Darksaber.
She respects the Darksaber.
She does.
At least she did in The Mandalorian. Maybe in
I
Book
will
of
say.
Boba Fett, she
I will
doesn't.
say. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know who would have satisfied me. I don't really like. I don't know why they had to kill Cobb Vanth.
Because
Like,
like,
I
I
don't
showed
know-
this dude's a bad dude.
But he's not a bad dude.
Okay, Crate Dragon couldn't kill Cobb Vanth, but you know what can?
Oh! I
bang.
thought you were saying that Cobb Vanth was a bad dude.
No, I do. Did you notice Cobb Vanth? What did they rename the town? Peacetown or something?
Freetown.
Freetown. That was some Borderlands 2 stuff right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was straight Handsome Jack has taken over Sanctuary, but this
So
is
let's-
Freetown.
Let's talk about a couple things that were very cool about this episode. We get more of Mark
Cobb Vanth.
Hamill. We get more Cobb Vanth, yeah, which was awesome. There was sort of an unnecessary scene where, and I get it came back where they have this gung ho new lawkeeper in town. It's like a deputy and whatever, but like the whole introduction of that character where like we just need to name somebody else. We don't have enough named characters in the Star Wars universe. We got to name somebody else
We gotta give
for him
this
to
guy.
be like, hey, we don't like your kind around here, Mandalorian, and for Cobb Vanth to be like, yeah, he's cool with me, guys. It's fine.
That's a Nubian.
That's yeah.
I guess that's not a Nubian.
You get more Cobb Vanth. We get more Mark Hamill as young Luke Skywalker. We get more Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano, and we get more Grogu
And Din Djarin.
and more Din Djarin. We get one of the most well executed fan service scenes in all of Star Wars history, where Luke carries Grogu through the woods. Have you seen the lineup, the side by side lineup with the Dagobah scene from Empire?
No, but I'm sure it's shot for shot.
It's identical. Yeah, they really nailed that. And that was some No Way Home level fan service execution. Here's what I don't get. So Luke is supposed to be all new wave of Jedi, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's given some old school Jedi.
He's given
mambo
some
jambo.
old school Jedi and Mamma Jamma, which makes me think that
Luke Skywalker's a Skrull.
no, I don't think Luke Skywalker's a Skrull. Ben Mendelsohn has already been in the Star Wars universe as Commander Krennic. So it'd be
Shout
really
out.
weird if
Shout out Washington Commanders.
be really weird if Ben Mendelsohn was also Luke Skywalker.
Well, there are other people who play Skrulls.
There aren't. Not important ones. If you're going to have the Luke Skywalker of Skrulls, it's got to be the Mac Daddy Skrull.
Think of that. If Ben Mendelsohn shows up and he was like, yeah, actually, I was it. I don't know how Ben Mendelsohn talks. He kind of talks with his.
You know what would have been
when
better than-
hold on.
you know what would have
Do you
been
know
better
how
than Cad
Ben?
Bane?
Hold on. Do you have a drink with you?
Yeah.
Do that thing where you store your drink in
No.
your cheeks and then
No.
talk. That's
I'm not gonna do it.
That's how
I'm not
Ben
gonna do it.
Mendelsohn talks.
You know who would have been better than
Hi,
Cad
Sheridan.
Bane?
I
is-
control the Oasis.
A new character introduced to give Josh Brolin a part in Star Wars.
Josh Brolin doesn't have a part in Star Wars.
Not yet, as far as I know. How cool would it be if he was just like intergalactic gunfighter Josh Brolin?
So there's a character from Knights of the Old Republic that Josh Brolin would.
If he walks in and he's just like, listen, Cobb, this town ain't big enough for both you and the Pike Syndicate.
This was inevitable.
I am fine. I'll do it myself. I'm gonna make a commercial that's gonna run every 5 minutes on the Olympics about how great Comcast is. I'm Josh Brolin.
You're so funny off camera. You follow him on Instagram?
No.
He's like a jolly guy.
I believe it. I believe it. I have no trouble believing that.
He's like a jolly, happy dude.
Yeah, I have no trouble believing that.
Fine. I'll do
But yeah,
it myself.
so Luke's not really vibing with the whole Jedi-Lorian thing. He's like, listen, Grogu, you can have this really cool baby chainmail, but you have to forswear being a Jedi forever, and you don't get to keep Yoda's cool lightsaber. Which is BS. Why can't he be both? Poor Nola. God's love is big enough for both.
Well, that's my thing.
Tar Vizsla did it.
Look at now you're pulling out names.
Yeah. From the last episode.
Yeah, I guess Tar Vizsla's referenced in this show. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like
I'll tell you what it's doing.
Is
It's
Luke
setting
is
up.
your-
It's setting up Grogu to show up at the battle next week with the chainmail on.
I don't think Grogu.
And by next week, I
fights.
mean 2 days from now.
I don't think Grogu's going to fight. I do think.
No, I don't think Grogu fight. I think if the battle happens, I think he is the deciding factor.
So we get a lot of backstory here. Grogu, I don't know if it was this episode or last week, but Grogu was at the temple during Order 66.
That is this episode, yeah.
Okay, so we don't know how he quite escaped that. I did love that sequence, though. Thought it was extremely cool. And I was like, finally a new angle on this. Somebody's going to get at me and be like, it's in the Clone Wars Season 7.
It's in the Clone Wars, yeah. If you didn't know, Grogu's been a character in the Star Wars universe since 2008.
No, that's definitely not the case.
You can see him in this. You can see him in this one frame in this one episode of the original Clone Wars movie.
No, because they did Baby Jabba the Hutt for that movie. But so we get to see that little bit of
Dave Filoni invented Grogu when he was 7 years old.
What if Grogu, hear me out, Grogu forsakes the Jedi Temple, but gets the lightsaber? Okay? Because, like, he's not there when Kylo's there.
Right. I mean, he has to leave, yeah.
Well, and we don't want him to leave Din Djarin, right? Like,
Right. But that's the thing is, like, that's been the whole, not the whole, but that's been one of the major premises is, like, these ancient orders and their outdated rules are kind of BS, right? Because, like, the armorer is like, Din Djarin, have you taken your helmet off? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, you are no longer a Mandalorian. He's like, I literally won the Darksaber in combat twice now. Once from the great grandson of its creator. Actually, you know who's the Mandalorian? Me. I'm the Mandalorian. Believe it or not.
When he shows up places, that's what people call him. Hey, Mando.
Yeah. Hey, Mando. Yeah, and he's going to show up to Bo-Katan Kryze with the Darksaber, and she's going to be like, holy butts. You had it for more than 8 minutes?
I want it again. Where's the kid?
Where's the kid? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's like he's not there. He's not there when Kylo's there, right? He's not the first acolyte. But also, like, you can't not have him have Yoda's lightsaber, right? They can't dangle that in front of us.
And then take it away.
That's one of the most rude fan service moments ever. To be like, you can have adorable tiny baby Beskar chainmail, or you can have adorable tiny lightsaber. But you have to choose.
And you're a baby.
The red pill will send you home. The blue pill will... I don't know which one's which anymore.
Why didn't I take the blue pill?
Yeah, the Joe Pantoliano as Cypher is going to show up in the next episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Just be like, listen, if we're all out, we're all out. What does it matter? I don't mind being a battery.
I want to be rich and important. You know, like an actor or something.
Yeah.
Access
Yeah.
codes to the Zion mainframe. Oh, he would show up in Star Wars.
Lawrence Fishburne?
No.
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving. Lawrence Fishburne also.
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence
would be like,
Fishburne was... No, that's Forrest Whitaker.
Saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera, yeah.
Man, you should watch Rogue One.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the battle's going to end, though. It's just like Boba Fett being like, actually, I looked it up, and humanity is a virus. So we're going to just vacate this planet, no more spice, and I'll be the daimyo.
On next season's planet, which will be a forest planet.
And Gorg shows up, and they just talk New Zealand at each other.
And then Taika Waititi as the priest from Hunt for the Wilder People shows up.
Yeah, every Taika Waititi role ever. Hitler.
Hitler shows up. I guess Hitler is played by a different character in this show.
Yeah.
Not in this show, in this series.
In this series, yeah. Hayden Christensen coming back for the Kenobi show.
What do you think of that?
I don't think.
You ready for May when we get the Kenobi show?
Is that when it's coming out?
May, yeah.
No, I'm not wishing away moments of my life just so that I can have another TV series. There's so damn many of them coming out this year.
Dude, there's so much content out there.
Yeah, it's like 5 Marvel shows, 5 more Star Wars shows.
Oh, even like if you're not watching Marvel and Star Wars, there's like other shows. Some people watch Ozark, Yellowstone, Emily in Paris.
Younger.
Did you see Weekend Update when Peyton Manning comes up and updates Emily in Paris?
I did not.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Did you see Weekend Update where Pete Davidson got a death threat in the newspaper?
No.
Apparently, somebody took out an op-ed in the New York Post to like say that if Pete Davidson keeps talking crap about Staten Island, he's gonna sleep with the fishes.
Oh my God.
He's like, that's a death threat in the newspaper. What are you, the Zodiac? I didn't know they did that anymore.
I loved his bit he did about Kanye.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm off the meds. Pete Davidson's like, take them.
Take them. They're great.
Speaking of that, I actually had something I wanted to complain about.
Is it about, you can't complain about Pete Davidson in front of me right now.
No,
that's the only thing that is holding my fragile psyche together.
I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I don't know if you're aware of this or not. For a long time in my life, people would say like, oh, caffeine doesn't work for people with ADHD. And I'd be like, oh, that's a sweeping generalization. I'm sure it does something. People with this disorder, it varies wildly. And I'm sure caffeine is doing something. I'm just not noticing it because I'm not paying attention because I have ADHD. I learned within the past week, Ethan, I mean, I don't know if it affects everybody this way, but caffeine genuinely does nothing for me.
Yeah.
You know how I learned this, Ethan?
How?
I started taking vitamin B12.
Okay.
I mean, not like all the time, right? But
Yeah.
like vitamin B12's in pre-workout and it's in 5-hour energy. And I got that rush. That rush that people are like, oh, that little caffeine boost.
Yeah.
I'd never experienced that before.
I mean, here's the thing.
No, that's crazy, man.
Did you get it from 5-hour energy?
I got it. I get it more from the pre-workout than 5-hour energy.
I was gonna say because I don't know if they're 100% honest about what they put in 5-hour energy.
That's crack.
That's next level stuff, man.
5-hour energy doesn't hit me as hard as pre-workout does, but that stuff, dude, it's like I mean, oh my God, Ethan. Did you know that my favorite football team, their colors are not black and white?
What?
I was seeing colors, Ethan.
You always see colors.
I don't know if I do, man.
You're not colorblind.
I always see burgundy and gold. That's all I ever see. Hell,
You know, for most of your life, you weren't even a fan of this team.
Why do you have to do this? Why do you have to do this?
Because you get
No,
this.
you got to take it. How did people become fans of teams?
I'm not saying they did.
You just have to be born with it.
You
just
say
got-
things like-
Listen, man, when I was a kid, I was a fan of Dale Earnhardt. You know what happened? He died. I was a fan of Michael Vick. You know what happened? A lot of other death. I was a fan of Lance Armstrong. You know what happened?
Yeah, there's a whole
He
episode of Your
cheated.
Brother's podcast about this.
Exactly. I was a fan of J.K. Rowling. All of my heroes are villains. So you know
Yeah,
what?
to this day.
Why not just seek out Dan Snyder, the biggest villain in the NFL, his team?
Because you say things like, all I see is burgundy and gold. Like you've been this dyed-in-the-wool lifelong fan.
I would say at this stage it's lifelong. I would call it lifelong at this stage.
But you can still change anytime you want. You can unmake this mistake that you're continuing to make.
No, I cannot. I actually, I didn't like any of the merch that they put out with the like round one boom of merch. So
Yeah.
we're making our own.
That's so weird. That's so lame.
I'm so excited.
Imagine having a team where every piece of merch they put out doesn't absolutely fucking slap. It could never be me.
The Packers.
There's never been a bad piece of green and gold merch. I promise you.
There's literally nothing
promise
more
you.
embarrassing than being a Packers fan. I can think of
that's not even
nothing
true.
worse.
That's not even close to being true.
Aaron Rodgers isn't even a Packers fan.
Correct.
Shailene Woodley's not even a Packers fan.
You want to talk about special teams, Tress Way?
Did he leave?
He sucks. Your special teams has always sucked.
You said Tress Way sucks? You mean the greatest punter in the history of the league? You
That's
think
not even
Tress Way
true.
sucks?
That's not even true.
Tress Way, I guarantee by every metric, is in the top 5 of the league.
He's no Blair
Guaranteed.
Walsh.
He's better than Blair Walsh.
He's not better than Blair Walsh.
Oh my God. Tress Way has a podcast called Hang Time with Tress Way, where he interviews players of the Washington Commanders.
Must be nice. I would like right now, I don't even know the Packers punter's name, but I
couldn't
legitimately
name a single Packers player right now.
Okay. I wouldn't expect you to. Mm-hmm. But also that's kind of weird for Mr. I'm a fan of the league. I just like the game.
I do just like the game.
If I was a Washington Commanders fan right now, I would be embarrassed by that name and by the announce.
Listen,
I would be
here's the
embarrassed by the whole thing. I would
Here's the
want
thing.
better
Even
from my
if-
team.
even
Like
if
I'm
I'm-
currently doing, is wanting better from my team. And by wanting better, I mean a new special teams coach and for Mason Crosby and the punter to be fired forever.
Here's the thing: is
It's time for them to go clean the house.
we can shut the doors at FedEx Field, and I can go into the boardroom and I can have a conversation with Dan and the crew about what I think the vision of the team is for the future. And that's all well and good. We can have those conversations behind closed doors. But what the team needs now in the public eye is for a really positive person to be really positive about the whole thing. Because I can't, if I go to Dan and I say, Dan, we got to change the name, he's going to be like, we're not doing it again. We're not. Period. I'll be like, Dan, it's called FedEx Field. Just call them the Packers. And he'll be like, oh, fuck, that would be such a good idea.
Hey, that's already taken.
It was such a good idea. Why didn't we think of that? The Washington Packers. It would have been good.
There were an infinite amount of better choices.
I would say there were,
Even among the military crap.
I would say Monuments. The more I've reflected on it, Monuments would probably be my top choice.
They're making a mistake by leaving the burgundy and gold. They got to do something. They got to move. I maintain this. They got to move back into the city. They got to change the colors. They got to do something. Otherwise, you're never gonna break the. You're never gonna break the thing. You're never gonna break the association.
They do keep
Ever.
insisting on keeping the fight song, which, like, I get it, right? That's a tough one. That's a
If
tough
you have
pill
to change
swallow.
every noun in the song, just start over.
We
Just start
don't.
over.
So it would be Hail the Commanders, Hail Victory. I think they'd probably stick with Braves on a Warpath.
Yikes! No, they can't do that. That's still bad. That's still bad.
Fight for Old DC, I think, would be fine. So Braves on a Warpath, you'd have to change.
Yeah, just start
Commander-
over.
Commanders in the Navy, ships on a Warpath, boom. Run and pass and score, we want a lot more. That part sucks anyway.
The most awkward, the worst. I mean, I guess it happened before, but the worst amount of syllables in a line ever since Kenny Chesney said, "Keg in the closet, pizza on the floor."
Pizza on the floor.
It is unfathomable how weird that rolls off the tongue.
Let's see. Runner, pass and score. We want a lot more.
Yeah.
Beat 'em, swamp 'em, touchdown, let the point soar. Fight on, till you have won. Sons of Washington. Rah, rah, rah. Hail to the Redskins.
Nope.
Well, that's not what it is anymore.
You just said the thing again.
I know. I've made a conscious effort not to say the whole name.
You gotta break the association is the thing. Because otherwise, you're going to continue every single day to get the people like, I'm never going to call them by anything else.
So I do hate that. I think the answer is Celatine
That
Jeff.
group of people is louder than the normal fans.
No, here's my thing. Do you remember the Ravens-Browns thing?
Not really, because I was 6
Okay,
or 7.
so for the uninitiated, roughly speaking.
I mean, I know what happened, but do I remember it? No.
There was, so there was a Baltimore Ravens. Hold
The
on.
Baltimore Colts left a long time ago, and then there was not a team in Baltimore.
How did the Browns get there?
The Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore, just up and moved. And then the Cleveland was like, we can't not have the Browns. So they
So yeah, that's what happened.
They made an expansion team.
Yeah, so Cleveland lost their team to Baltimore and became the Baltimore Ravens, and then Cleveland opened the doors to the dog pound once again for a team with the same name.
Sure.
We trade teams with Pittsburgh. We trade cities with Pittsburgh.
No, I don't think that's it.
The Washington Steelers.
I don't think that's it.
Government themed.
I don't think that's gonna work, man. I think that there would be you could take just about any other team.
I actually think probably best bet would be Jacksonville. They don't want to be there.
Also, there's nothing wrong with the Steelers
Nashville.
anymore. He's gone.
I know, he's gone.
Motherfucker's gone. There's nothing wrong with the Steelers anymore. You can safely be a Steelers fan again. We had that conversation the other day about like what teams you could sell a new fan on. The Pittsburgh Steelers are absolutely one of those teams.
I think there's actually some teams in the running that we didn't talk about before. Denver Broncos in stock rising. Colts in stock rising.
No, Colts out. Colts out. Carson Wentz, not a chance.
Carson, they're going to draft.
Okay, but until they do, you can't. If somebody comes up to you today and is like, what team should I become a fan of?
Washington
in the NFL?
Commanders, baby, the greatest team
Absolutely
of all
not.
of history. All you'll be seeing the
Absolutely
rest of your life is burgundy and gold. Drink the Kool-Aid,
Absolutely
kiddo. Here's a burgundy blazer for you. That's my next podcast. It's called Men in Burgundy Blazers. And I sit down with staff at FedEx Field every week, and I interview them.
All I'm saying is you could say like, oh, Aaron Rodgers isn't a Green Bay Packers fan or not, but we were talking about merch. And
The merch
our merch is impeccable. You understand that, right?
You nerds wear cheese hats and buy NFTs of your team. That's lame.
not how that works.
That's kind of how it works.
It's not how it works.
It's like Packer coin.
First of all, that token is fungible.
It's not that fungible.
It's more fungible than a non-fungible token. Also, NFTs are bullshit. You can totally funge that token. Go out there, funge that token. Ruin your favorite crypto boys' day. Please, God. They get so pressed on Twitter, and it's so funny when you screenshot their apes or their cool cats, their PFPs. They get so
keep up
pressed.
with it.
I hate it so much. It makes me not want to be like an artist of any kind anymore. And I haven't done photography in a while, just like on social media at least, because I long complicated year. But like the rise of NFTs made me deeply not want to continue to participate in like photo Twitter. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the future. It's going to be a rough couple years. It's going to be a couple rebuilding years. We've been due for them for a long time.
We due for them for a long time. Wasn't your last good year like 10 years ago?
I mean, we're good every year.
No, last Super Bowl year. Before
Okay.
you're like, Tyler, the Commanders haven't been since 1992.
Commanders have never been. Ever.
We've always been the Commanders.
And probably will never go. You have not always been the Commanders. You'll probably never go. At least until Dan Snyder, until Dan Snyder dies.
Dan Snyder sells the team to Dan
Brown, the author of the Da Vinci Code.
The
They become
Washington
the Washington Da
Cryptex.
Vinci's. The Washington Cryptex. The Washington Langdons.
The
And
Washington-
Tom Hanks is the new mascot. It's just a picture of Tom Hanks.
Orb. The
Washington Apples.
Yeah.
And here's the biggest problem. Here's the biggest problem, man, is that the Washington and this is geographical proximity becoming a problem. Is the Washington Commanders exist in an area of the country where people are and will always and forever refer to them as Washington.
Okay.
That's a problem. That is a linguistic issue.
Washington Commanders.
The Washington Commanders.
Ships
hate
on a
it.
warpath.
I hate it. It's wash. You wash your clothes. You don't wash them.
Washington your clothes.
You Washington your clothes. Don't mix your burgundies and your golds, people.
There is a bunch of Washington football team stuff that's on clearance now, and I can't decide if I want to be like, oh, that'd be kind of like a cool retro thing to have, or if I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. And I think
It won't be retro for so long, and even then I don't know that it's going to be retro in a way that will ever become retro.
Right.
I don't think 2020 is ever going to be like chic.
I do. Oh yeah.
Nah, because there was
We will get to a point. No, we'll go back to school and we'll go back to work, which I guess most people are already there. But there will be a resurgence of like, why do I have to get dressed? I'm just gonna wear pajamas.
Right, but what I'm saying is there's no style guide for 2019. Like there's no style guide for the 2010s the way there were for the 80s and the 90s, right? Like
Oh yes, there is.
nothing looks like the 2010s because everything was different every 5 minutes for 10 years.
Yeah. I've started to get this thing happen where I listen to like old playlists from the early 2000s and it'll mix songs that I never would have mixed
Yeah.
because they were years apart.
Yeah. Because pop music changed, it had a specific sound every 6 months
Yeah.
for a decade.
I think that's our episode on Book
If you
of
look
Boba
at the
Fett,
career
though.
path of Maroon 5, you can see it better than anybody because they were constantly that whole time just like, we're going to write songs that are exactly in the moment.
Yeah.
And so if you go from like Moves Like Jagger to like that Drinks Bring Back All the Memories song, you just hear that whole decade, one song at a time.
Yep.
And that's what pop music sounded like at that exact moment.
Anyway, I think that's our episode on Book of Boba Fett. I've enjoyed hanging out with you, Ethan. Have you
I've enjoyed hanging out with
me?
you, Tyler.
I've got to go put my son to bed. He woke up.
Tell him I said hi
I will.
and that I miss him.
Hey, love you, buddy.
Love you too. All right, bye everybody. Have a great night and or a great day whenever you listen to this. Just really enjoy the podcast. Watch the last episode coming out Wednesday, February 9th. And don't buy NFTs. Watch the Olympics. Go Team USA. Woo! And if it's 12 years from now, hi, my name's Ethan Edgehill. I hope we're still watch the Olympics. Yeah, 12 years from now. Yeah. Totally. Go Team USA. Shaun White II. Woo. Bye.